What's up, everyone? I'm Tatum. I'm back with another episode of Off the Wall, where today I'm talking about probably my favorite hip hop album of all time. Something I think is probably the greatest hip hop album of all time. It's debatable, but this one, I'm so fucking happy to have it in my collection. I remember when I first got it and I was just fucking, it's just fucking dope. So, without further ado, I bring to you my off the wall pick of the week, Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Man, I know like all the people just watching probably were like, why'd you pick this one out of all the ones that was in there? I never see people pick this one. Every time I see people show their fucking vinyl, they never have this one in the thing. So I was like, I'm just gonna put that one in. Man, this fucking thing is huge, first of all. Let me see if I can go through it in here. Oh yeah, there it is. There's the poster. That's pretty fucking awesome. With the credits, bro. That's fucking awesome. And ironically, this is the one that fell out. All right, I'm not gonna hold this big ass vinyl the whole time, so I'm gonna set this back here, and we're gonna get into this review, reaction, recap kind of thing. Okay, let me get my notes. Well, it's not even really notes; it's just the track listing, bro. Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is one of those rap albums that it comes along once in a lifetime kind of thing. I know that's like crazy to say of how many great rap albums we got, but I love to see when an artist reaches their like pinnacle. This is the best they can possibly give to us. Like I think, and that's crazy to say for Kanye West. Like this nigga gave us college dropout, late registration, graduation, 808s, Yeezus, Pablo. Like Jesus is king for Christ's sakes. No pun intended. But this one is just so, man. It's so concise. Every song is fucking perfect from dark fantasy, bro. Like, and to come back, you had to live in an era to understand. Like, this nigga was like exiled for the Taylor Swift thing and left the country and like really like took a year off to like I guess define itself and create this fucking masterpiece of an album that we got. Like, come on, bro. Dark Fantasy, Can We Get Much Higher is probably one of the greatest intros of all time. Just the way, just the cinematicness of the whole thing, like coming to like every time I hear that, I'm like, well, this is just beautiful. And to go into Gorgeous and have Kid Cudi and Raekwon on the same record, and I think Gorgeous is probably one of Kanye's best lyrical performances. That's pretty underrated. Like people don't really talk about Gorgeous that much. But to do three great verses, kill them all, and then have Raekwon come in for fourth verse is just it's just disgusting, bro. Who the producers we had on this? We had No ID, Kanye West, RZA, Mike Dean, bro. It's just Swiss Beats with ad libs. I'm pretty sure he helped on some things. All the lights, the whole cast that's on that song is just ridiculous. I know some people. One of the things people always talk about with this album, like disgruntled with, is the length of how the songs are. Like they feel like some songs just drag on in length wise. I'm like, I don't see one song on here that that makes me feel that way. Like I think all the songs are perfect length. Only thing gripe I have is Jay-Z's Monster verse. Like I think that's one of Hov's most lackluster verse throughout his whole career, pretty much. But he saved it on Soul Paul. Like, what was the last line he said on Soul Paul? I'm so fucking fly. I'm not playing. Like, come on, man. I lost 30 mil, so I spent another 30, because unlike Hammer, 30 million can't hurt me. And then fucking Pusha T said fucking still move a bird like I'm in bed with Mother Goose. like you can leave it to Pusha T to come through with the drug bars insanely. But I think that's one of the coldest bars ever. Even Kanye holding his, Saha holding his own on there. I think that's just fucking amazing. They have Rick Ross come through on Devil in a New Dress after which is such a beautiful song, and just come in and still getting Tupac money twice over. Still a rare Coogee sweater dice roller. Like, that shit is so. That's probably Rick Ross' best verse. Like, he would probably say that. That verse is just out of this fucking world, man. Like, and to think to have, and I heard that like he used to not used to, but he had like Rick Ross rewrite that verse. Like, I know you could do one better than that. Same thing he did with Pusha on Runaway. Or Pusha wrote a couple different verses for Runaway, and Kanye was like, nah, you can get more. You could be more asshole than that. Hell of a Life. Blame Game so fucking dope. Lost in This World to the final skit. I think it's all like, this album is just fucking amazing. And I remember like reading like a Complex magazine interview one time when I forgot who went out there. Was it Noah who went out there to like, and was just around while they were recording the album, and he was talking about the environment, and you had the pictures of like no tweeting, no acoustic guitars on this album, like type shit, like signs on the door that like before you came in there, just know that, just don't. It was something like no dad hats allowed in the studio, which is a real weird one. Even during the making, when he had everybody just wear the suits to come to like basically come to work and make him take it a little bit serious than a regular, I guess, musician or rap artist would. Like, we're serious about this shit. Like, everybody in Westwood. I just thought that's dope. The cover's amazing. The video's amazing. Runaway, the movie. I remember that premiering on MTV and that shit just being fucking pause moment. Like, probably the last MTV kind of music related thing that was big. Power. I've totally fucking forgot about Power. That was like the first song we heard from this album. How stupid. Power. I think that's one of his best lyrical performances ever. That second verse. My childlike creativity, purity, and honesty is honestly being cried about these grown thoughts. I think that bar is ridiculous. Whoever may wrote it, that's probably one of Kanye's greatest lines ever. The Nicki Minaj standout verse on fucking Monster. That shit is still top tier. Like, what people think is one of her greatest verses. Like, just think about that. It's two people on this album that people would consider the verses their greatest verses of their career. That says a lot. I won't go on too long about this. And it's the 10th anniversary coming up. It's fucking crazy that this album is 10 years old, and like, it's just nuts to think of that this album is that old already. It's just crazy. Favorite songs, I'm gonna go Devil in a New Dress, Gorgeous, and So Appalled. Yeah. I know it was hard to pick, but I'm gonna pick those three. Worst song, there is none. Favorite line, don't leave while you're hot. That's how May screwed up. I think that's probably like, that's just the ill bar on so many levels. Even the Leo Cohen line, that's Dior own, not Dior homie. Like, that's just like, if you know, that bar is just ridiculous. Yeah, and even the fucking Good Friday shit that led up to this, I thought was just an artist has never done. I thought that was pretty cool. And just to think that, like, put it in perspective like this, bro. This guy, Kanye, did My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Watch the Throne in 1 year and didn't get a Grammy for neither one of those. That's kind of nuts that My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was not nominated or didn't win for Album of the Year or Rap Album of the Year. Neither Watch the Throne. It's just kind of nuts when you think about it in that perspective. And even like, where did this one land out on Rolling Stone's list? Like 12, 13, something like that. Like in the teens of greatest albums of all time. I think it should have been in top 10. I think if we're going to put any hip hop album in there, I think this one could do it. Can we get much higher? In closing, this is my favorite Kanye album. I'll take that back. It's a tie for my favorite Kanye album. It's either Late Registration or this. This one's cooler than Late Registration, I would say that much. The Late Registration story is just dope to me. So I would probably, and just, yeah. It's the closest we'll get to what they'll say, like that old Kanye in a way. But My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, it's just great. I don't even know what more I could say. To have all these great producers, bro, it's Kanye West, it's RZA, it's No ID, it's Plain Pat, it's everyone you can, it's Mike Dean, it's everyone you could think of. To have fucking it's Raekwon and Kid Cudi on a song together. You have Raekwon and Charlie Wilson on the same album. I think that's ridiculous. Just to have, I think this was the last Kanye album with that he really cared about what the product was going to be, if that makes sense. I think after this point, it becomes like, I don't know, I'm an artist and whatever it is going to be, the Yeezus 10 songs, no cover, no single, I'm disbanding pop shit in my repertoire. Oh, I'm going to do Jesus. It's like, it's just ultra artists after this point. Um, but this was like the last one I feel like the music was cared about 100%. Because if you think about it at the time, he really had no choice. Back against the wall kind of thing, like blackball kind of thing. Like if he didn't hit with this one, it would have been crazy. I would love to see the projector, not love, but because I love Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, but it'd be crazy to see the projection if this album doesn't happen for Kanye. And man, when an artist steps up to the plate and knocks the motherfucking ball out the park, you gotta commend them. You gotta applaud them. And I know for me, this album, just as a hip hop lover, as a music creator, as just a music enthusiast, I love this shit. This shit was like, can we get much higher? Like like the raps were the best plush, lush, lavish raps you could think of. The beats were the hardest beats over some of the most beautiful percussions and not percussions, but beautiful chords. It's just the best artists in the world. Like look at the lineup for All the Lights. Just look at that lineup and how many. It's rare that an artist can bring so many great artists together and make great music, especially someone from the hip hop field, maybe like Dr. Dre or something. But other than that, like he didn't even take it to this extent. Like to have Elton John on a song with The Dream, like or Drake. Like it's crazy when you think about it like that, and it's hard to find any rap album or album that can go up against this album toe for toe, and that's just my opinion. You can play yourself if you want. I won't do it. But what do you think? Where does My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy rank for you in your Kanye like discography? Is it number one? Is it lower? Are you one of the Yeezus fans where that's like number one of all time? Or are you like the College Dropout fans where that's number one of all time? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe. We're almost at 100 by the time this comes out. Hopefully, this will push us over 100 subscribers. It's the first milestone for me. Yeah. Other than that, I'm gonna put this shit back on my wall.